for the real knowledge. Do you remember that? How many were these? No one? There were 20. So if you
Oh,
just, okay, there are 20. If you just humility, pridelessness,
humility, yeah.
non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master. So we talked about that.
Yeah.
These are really important to go little deeper. So I would like us to, quickly, this is the, um, we did talk about it, but from the purport, did anybody try to, have you read the purport on this? Okay. So I would highly recommend that. See, just me uh, teaching you or try to guide you in the class won't be sufficient for for the practical transformation. We have to work little bit, and that means reading Prabhupada purport. Okay, so here, for example, humility. Humility means, see, I'm reading this one. Humility means from here. Okay,
Hmm.
humility means that one should not be anxious. I will make it a little bigger for you. Humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. So very important. Just think, try reflecting that see most of our issues in our life happens because we are expecting honor, right? And so we have to be humble in and this is humility seems like a simple word. This is a lifelong practice, but it has to be started. It has to be started that why I am feeling that for example, if let's say even between the spouse, sometimes it may happen that one spouse is not feeling very happy because he or she feels that they are not being respected by the other. Um, and rather, we have to turn it inward and say that uh, is that my ego which is causing me to hurt, right? And ego, and or is it the expectation of respect which is hurting me? What is that which is hurting me? And I heard it from my Guru Maharaj. He said that whenever we feel that other person has ego, it is a reflection of my own self that I have the ego. Because we see the quality in others, or the things we see in the others is typically what we have, and that's the reason we are trying we are our unknowingly we very start focusing on that. So whenever and whenever you see that I'm seeing the ego in others, I'm seeing the anger in others, I'm seeing this the so-called the one of the six anarthas, it is a very good chance that I have that quality, right? And just thinking this makes us humble, right? Though, see, all the bad quality I have in me, I have to really work on it. How can I work on it, right? And that will even allow us to reduce our anger, our frustration, and make us more tolerant. So humility is the start of our Krishna consciousness journey, right? Srinadapi suni chena tarurapir sahisuna amani na manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So there are three aspects, right? So it's very important, humility. Okay, so that's where we start. Okay, so humility, Prabhupada. The material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others, but from the point of view of a man in perfect knowledge, who knows that he is not this body, anything, honor or dishonor pertaining to this body is useless. One should not be hankering after this material deception. People are very anxious to be famous for their religion, So even like so even at the advanced stage, and this is something I somebody was visiting us recently, one of the Maharaj, and he's telling that initially when the devotee start, even the big devotee, they have this concept of I. Oh, I have become a devotee, and then I have become a big devotee. So this getting rid of this concept that I am, right? That is the root of everything. So we should always think that, oh, I'm a big teacher, I'm a big preacher, so it is a very, very risky thing, okay? So we should, and all those things happen due to that concept of the body, okay? People are very anxious to be famous for their religion, and consequently, sometimes it is found that without understanding the principle of religion, one enters into some group which is not actually following religious principle, and then wants to advertise himself as a religious mentor. Okay. Now, non-violence. Non-violence is generally taken to mean not killing or destroying the body, but actually, non-violence means not to put others into distress. See, this, if you can, we all can focus on this, our life will start becoming perfect, and our relationships will start becoming much better. You see, many times, especially in the intimate relationship, you'll see that what happen, the husband and a wife, just to make a point, they start hurting each other, right? And that is coming from the point of love, but it is seeking for itself, because we are seeking attention for us from my other partner. And that's where we will say something to hurt other person. Okay. And that is violence. That is violence we are committing on each other. So that's from the intimate relationship perspective. And in our friendly relationship, the relationship with other folks within the temple, at the work, we commit those things. So we have to be very careful how our words are measured, and then we speak it. It should not be a free flow kind of saying whatever I want. That's violence. We have to be very careful, and then acting on one's violent word with the another violent word is also not justifiable. Okay, say, oh, so this person said something, so I can fire back. So no, that is also not justifiable. Okay. So people in general are trapped by ignorance in the material concepts of life, and they perpetually suffer material pain. So unless one elevate people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they have become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. That is real non-violence. Okay. Tolerance. Tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. Sometimes people by mistake can say some things, let's say and we think that, oh, this person is trying to being abusive. So we have to always look at the context also, from our vantage point, that this person doesn't mean that. And for me, and because they might be coming from a different point, I should be able to tolerate it, and let's not react at that point of time. Even if you feel very disrespected, it's okay. Just try to as tolerant as possible. And that can be applied even in the work at work. The email comes from somebody, or the message comes from somebody, your colleague, and you just want to fire back, right? Uh, just try to delay it initially, and then slowly try to tolerate it. So it will be good for our progress. Doesn't mean that people can just abuse somebody just like anything, but most of the time, 95% of the time, we can tolerate. 5% maybe it may be required. See, physical abuse is not good, right? If somebody is physically abused, other people we should not tolerate. So if somebody's hurting other devotee or abusing them, We should go and try to help the one being abused, right? But when it is coming to us, typically the Shastra says that we should learn to tolerate. Okay? If one is engaged in the advancement of spiritual knowledge, there will be so many insults and many and much dishonors from others. This is expected because material nature is so constituted. So this is just by the either the Maya Devi will cause this, right? Or if we are a practicing devotee, then Krishna's internal potency, Yoga Maya, may cause this. Okay? So it's possible. And Krishna is trying to make us grow, and that's the reason he will make us go through those situations in our life. Okay? And I'm talking through all my experience here. Okay? So these all the things we am talking about, yeah, it just keeps happening. And then that's Krishna's mercy that that's how we have to look. That's Krishna mercy, how he's trying to be kind, and he is giving these tests in my life so that I can grow. Okay? So it's very important. And so even a boy like Prahlad, who only 5 year old was engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, was endangered when his father became antagonistic to his devotion. The father tried to kill him in so many ways, but Prahlad tolerated him. So there may be many impediments to making advancement in spiritual knowledge, but we should be tolerant and continue our progress with determination. Simplicity, again, other thing. Um, Simplicity means that without diplomacy, one should be so straightforward that he can disclose the real truth even to an enemy. And this is easier said than done. Lot of people, even you see the devotee practitioners, sometimes they would not tell you the real reason why they are saying something, because there may be some other agenda, right? If that happens to us, be tolerant. Again, you ask questions, you do whatever, and be respectful. And let's say if I have that tendency, I should not be doing this. Okay? If I have that tendency that I am not straightforward in terms of I always have some hidden agenda, I should not be doing. That's not good. Okay? But that straightforwardness doesn't mean that we go and hurt other people. That's also not acceptable, right? So we have to be respectful um, to other folks. On the name of simplicity, we cannot go and hurt at anybody. Okay. So as for acceptance, so this real truth even to our enemy, that is little advanced, right? I hope eventually we all get there, but at least start being simple to our close friends, relatives, our colleagues, our spouse. Let's try to be simple. Let's not try to be like a diplomat. Okay. As for acceptance of the spiritual master, this is for the spiritual master. That is essential because without the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot progress in the spiritual science. One should approach the spiritual master with all humility and offer him all service so that he will be pleased to bestow his blessing upon the disciple. So again, when we are approaching the spiritual master, our humbleness should not be only the external humbleness. It's not the external humbleness which is being talked about. Many times we think, oh, Hari Bol Prabhu Ji, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, and like we are full external, internal humbleness means that we have to hear the Guru's word. What Guru want us to tell. Right? For example, my Guru Maharaj is very big on cooperation. He wants that everybody should collaborate with each other, the all the within the God brother and sisters across with the God in the larger Prabhupada family. We should be very cooperative with each other, which means that even within this when we are having to do different kind of services, we should not be like become more competitive that he or she is a better teacher, he or she is a better preacher, he or she is a better book distributor. No, we should always encourage other person and try to do our best. Okay. So uh, so humility For a spiritual master means following his words, following his orders. What Prabhupada is telling, we have to follow that. Okay. So one should approach the spiritual master with all humility and offer him all services. Okay, that's we read. Because a bona fide spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. If he bestows any blessing upon his disciple, that will make the disciple immediately advance without the disciples following the regulative principles. Or the regulative principle will be easier for one who has served the spiritual master without reservations. Okay, so serving, what does the serving the spiritual master means? Can anybody tell me?
uh, like working for the goal of spiritual master, for example, Sankirtan or the book distribution or any other services, and then following the instructions by reading their scripture, uh, by following their instructions.
Yeah, so hearing Guru's words, right? So Gurus typically they are giving many times we think that did I get my personal instruction? Gurus give the personal instruction through their lectures many times, right? Because they have so many disciples. So they give the personal instruction through their lecture. So we have to try to listen to the Guru's word and follow them, right? Even like the words which are written in this purport. Prabhupada is the Acharya teacher for all of us, right? So we need to follow Prabhupada's words. Okay. Next, cleanliness is essential for making advancement in spiritual life. There are two kinds of cleanliness, external and internal. So external cleanliness means taking a bath, but for internal cleanliness, one has to think of Krishna always and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This process of cleans the accumulated dust of past karma from the mind. So again, little on the internal cleanliness. Internal cleanliness is managing our thoughts, managing our mind, and our mind goes here and there, thinks all kind of stuff, bad stuff, good stuff. It is the storehouse of all the things which keeps us on this earthly planet. Okay, so that's where chanting is the most powerful tool. Um, we all need to be chanting at least 16 rounds. That's what's recommended, right? If we are not there 16 rounds, we start from something minimal and we maintain it, and then we try to get to the 16 rounds. Okay. Balu Prabhu, do you chant Prabhuji?
Yes.
You're chanting 16 round Prabhu or
No,
less?
eight rounds.
Eight rounds? Very good. How long you have been chanting Prabhu?
Probably 3 4 months.
3 4 months?
Three four
Very
months.
good. Very good Prabhu. Very good. Yeah, so when you once you feel that you are comfortable, you would like to maybe grow from 8 to 11. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can try that. Yeah, definitely Prabhuji. Uh, Gaurav Prabhu, are you chanting Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. I've
It-
been chanting regularly.
How many rounds you are doing Prabhu?
3 rounds, Prabhuji.
3 rounds, very good, Prabhuji. So just keep it consistent, okay? And then, Lord willingness, and as you gain little confidence, you can increase this to 6 round. Okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Haribo. Okay, steadiness. Steadiness means that one should be very determined to make progress in spiritual life. This is exactly right. So, very good example of chanting rounds, right? Am I steady in my services, listening to the classes, going for the classes, doing the seva? We have to be steady. It's not that, oh, today I'm busy, so today I'm not going to go to seva. We have to try to make the space just like we make the space for other things, right? If my kids have some classes or anything like that, or some other social obligation, we make the time for it, right? Similarly, we have to prioritize making time for our spiritual progress, right? For example, chanting, service, right? Classes, these are the things we should really make time for that. Okay. Without such determination, one cannot make tangible progress. Self control. means that one should not accept anything which is detrimental to the path of his spiritual progress. So what it means, give me some example of the self-control. What what we should try to self what we should try to self-control ourselves from. Some example of self-control.
Can you ask the question, Prabhuji, again on
Yeah, Prabhu, I'm
self-control?
asking Prabhu, what are some of the things which you are trying to self-control?
The things that can deviate from your
Yes.
uh,
Yeah,
path.
yeah. Yes. What are some of the examples which everybody is trying in their in their life?
Everything, Prabhuji. So many
No,
things that
no. So give me some example, Prabhu. Give me some example.
um, like self-control from the materialistic influence that is
Uh-huh.
around us all the time.
Okay, so materialistic. So for yeah. So what I want to hear is a very specific, right? For example, self-control from um, not eating the food which is not prasad, right? Self-control from not speaking something which may be hurtful, right? So those are
Yes,
things.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, very
Like the
specific
day
things.
to day. Yeah, day
Yeah,
to
day
day
to day.
is like
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something we all need to, and we all have something to work on, right? And we cannot work on everything all together. So we should pick one or two things where we struggle, and we should say, okay, I'll be better self-control on these items. Okay. Somebody has a tendency to watch TV a lot. Okay, I'm going to first reduce it and then stop it completely. Or maybe from the get-go, why do I need to watch the TV? Let me stop it. It's not needed. Right. So all those things. Okay. One should become accustomed to this and reject anything which is against the path of spiritual progress. This is real renunciation. The senses are so strong that they are always anxious to have sense gratification. One should not cater to these demands which are not necessary. The senses should only be gratified to keep the body fit so that one can discharge his duty in advancing in spiritual life. Okay. The most important and uncontrollable controllable sense is the tongue. Okay, tongue. If one can control the tongue, so when we say controlling the tongue, what are some of the aspects of the tongue? What do we use the tongue for? Question is clear. What do we use the tongue for?
Appetite to taste different foods, talk different things,
To
uh,
eat and then to speak.
pursue. Yeah, yeah.
To eat and to speak. So this is the two things which we have to, there's a beginning we have to, what we eat is very important. We control that. It is good for our external health, the physical health, as well as the mental health, right? And then what we speak, it is good for maintaining the harmony all around us. If we measure our words before we say, it is very good. Okay. So one can control the tongue and possibility of, and so what it says, if one can control the tongue, then there is every possibility of controlling the other senses. So if we control the tongue, then all the other senses will be getting controlled. The function of the tongue is to taste and to vibrate. Therefore, by systematic regulation, the tongue should always be engaged in tasting the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna and chanting Hare Krishna. As far as the eyes are concerned, they should not be allowed to see anything but the beautiful form of Krishna. So you get the point. Try to use those senses appropriately. We all should try to use those senses appropriately. Okay. False ego. False ego means accepting the body as oneself. So, false ego is one of the subtlest item, which of the six anarthas which we all have, okay? Lust, anger, greed, envy, ego, illusion, right? S- The false ego is one of the most subtlest. and it can last for a long, long time. So the first step is starting by identifying that it is the self-ego which is the cause of which so identifying that, oh, what I said, this was coming from the my ego, right? So whatever ego we have, if it is not related with Krishna, it's called the false ego. The first definition, what is false ego? If the ego is coming from the perspective of the body, which has I, and I is referring to body, who I am. Okay, somebody insulted me. How can they do that? Right? Of course, we should not take the insult on Krishna. That is the real identity, that's the real ego. But 99.9999%, it is all our false ego. Okay? So, so, so just becoming aware of our false ego is the starting, and from there, then the journey will begin. We will start identifying, okay, when these words from me are coming from, is it coming from the false ego, or is it coming from some other agenda where it is coming from? Okay, so and you'll see one of the symptom I have seen people who have less false ego is, or let me ask you, what do you think the person who has less false ego, what kind of symptom uh, would you see within them?
They don't mind if someone says anything uh, bodily
Wh-
level.
They don't mind what you're saying. They don't mind at the bodily level. I didn't heard
Yeah,
the
they
middle
don't.
part.
They don't mind if they, for example, they don't mind if someone is not giving respect. They don't mind if someone says something, some scoldings or certain those kind of things. They do not give that much importance to that, and they just ignore it. And
Hmm.
uh, uh, and similarly, they just focus on purifying themselves, and whatever the goals that they have, they just go with that. They are dumb eared for other all nonsense things.
Yeah, so what does the purifying? So see, I'm just trying to get to the very specific problem, because see, many times we say these words, but what these word means when we say they focus on purifying themselves, what does it mean?
Sorry, Prabhuji. I had just switched my speaker. I lost last few words.
Okay. So what I was telling Prabhu, you were saying that they work on purifying themselves. What does purifying themselves means here? What does it mean?
Like instead of spending time on unnecessary things, they just focus on the like following instructions, for example, from spiritual master, and then they spend time in reading uh, Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, or whatever the good things they feel like. Um, and they just cut material things related dependencies. I mean, as they do not feel bodily level things are not permanent kind of, but they still maintain the relations with people. But yeah.
So how that is false ego?
If someone is scolding, for example, so they are scolding based on our bodily occupations, or if someone is respecting based on our bodily occupation, it's not at the soul level kind of. So because I am a officer, they give respect to me. But when I lose that job, no longer care for it, because you are not an officer now. If they are if they are looking at only my body and bodily occupations.
Hmm. So that part, respect part, I understand. That's coming from the false ego. But then you mentioned
Correct.
that they spend more time reading the scripture and also how that is related with the false
Yeah,
ego.
it's like the divine qualities, whatever the divine qualities they need to improvise, they work on that. I mean, they are not at the bodily level, I believe.
Okay, okay. So Is okay, so that's little generic. I just wanted to get to more specific. For example, one of my observation has been, and I would request all of us to go and reflect on these things. It's a very important because that's how we know that whether we are making progress. So one thing I've observed that you see people who have less false ego, they are much good listener because see what happens, um like for example, I have the tendency that if somebody is speaking, I would like to interject and say something because I think that I have a lot more to offer, and that might be coming from a perspective of the false ego. So what my observation has been that people who are good listener, very good listener, who are really listening to us, their level of false ego is lot less. So that's one of the observation. And that those are things I would like to hear, and I would like all of you. I will request you that for each of these quality, try to see how we can identify the symptoms by which we can know that I am improving on this or not. Does it
Totally
make sense?
agreed. Totally.
Yeah,
Yes,
Prabhu.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Yeah. So that's what. So that's what I mean by the specific. Like, okay, so let's try to make each of these things very specific. Okay. Okay. So false ego is done. One should try to understand the distress of accepting birth, death, old age, and disease that we already know about. Okay. As for detachment from the children, wife, and home, it is not meant that one should have no feelings for these. They are natural objects of affection. But when they are not favorable to spiritual progress, then one should not be attached to them. The best process for making the home pleasant in Krishna consciousness, if one is in full Krishna consciousness, he can make his home very happy because this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. One need only chant Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Accept the remnant of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Have some discussion on books like Bhagavad Gītā and Srimad Bhagavatam, and engage oneself in the deity worship. These four things will make one happy. So these four things, if we all I think as a devotee practitioner, we all try to do in our family. Okay, one should train the members of his family in this way. So as we do that, naturally the children will become Krishna conscious, and then when we are interacting with Krishna's energy. So right. Okay, next, happiness and distress are con concomitant factors of material life. Means it will always happen. It is the integral part of the life, happiness and distress. One should learn to tolerate as advised in Bhagavad Gita. Again, these things will keep coming in our life, and these are the things, because these things come so often, we can measure ourselves. How I'm reacting to the happiness and distress. I'm becoming too elated, and then the things becomes little bad. Then I become too angry, too upset, too abusive. What's happening, right? And through this, we can measure our progress. So, okay. Um, So naturally, when one is adapted to a spiritual way of life, he will not want to mix with materialistic men. So this is the Gaurav Prabhu was telling, not being materialistic. So those are the symptoms that you will see that as the progress is increasing on devotional life, we will ourselves become less inclined. We don't want to even, we'll think that initially it will happen that we have to pull ourselves. So let's say I have material friends that we used to go for sports, play, and all those stuff, walk. I used to spend a lot of time. Now, but because they were so materialistic, I thought that okay, I should spend less time with them and I should focus more. So initially it may be chore that I'm not going to meet my friends. I'm missing them, right? But slowly, once we develop the lot more taste in the spiritual on the spiritual path, then that won't look sure that become very natural that I don't want to relate with my materialistic friend. It doesn't mean that we don't talk to them. We talk to them, but we don't take their association. We don't get influenced by them. That is the important thing. So it's not that we are abandoning them. If they have any event, anything, a special event, anything like that, we should go and spend time with them. Okay? So that's very, very important. Hare Krishna Prabhu, you are here. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Yeah, yeah. Come closer, Prabhu. Come closer. Come closer. Yeah. Okay. So that was for the materialistic men. As far as the self realization is concerned, it is clearly stated here that bhakti yoga is especially practical. As soon as there is a question of devotion, one must consider the relationship between the super soul and the individual soul. The individual soul and the super soul cannot be one, at least not in the bhakti conception, the devotional conception of life. This service of the individual soul to the supreme soul is eternal, nityam, as it is stated, is clearly stated. So bhakti or devotional service is eternal, but should be established in that philosophical conviction. So when we say self-realization, what does it really mean? What does the self-realization mean?
The, the point exactly where we are uh, going. The self limitations, whatever we have, so that's a self realization. About, I mean, whether spiritually or materially, that's the self review kind of, right?
So it's much simpler, Prabhu, much simpler. See, so self-realization means that knowing that I am a soul, and then knowing that there is a super soul, and this soul has the relationship with the super soul, okay, and realizing it. So self realization is really realizing it. Have I stopped thinking from the body perspective? Have I, whenever it happens, am I saying, oh, I did it, or Krishna did it? So you see, that's so how I present myself, that will change once I start identifying with the soul. As long as there is a body, there will be some pain, but as we advance, these pains will also, the bodily pain will also diminish, because one is start living at the soul level, right? So these are the, so that's where the realization is happening, that I'm not a body, I'm a soul, right? So I'm able to take people not respecting me and all the things we talked about. And then the super soul, always thinking that how I can please Krishna, how I can, and just hankering for his love, becoming greedy for his love, his affection. So that would show that, oh, I am making progress, and that is my relationship. I want to be the Krishna servant. How I can be that, right? Oh, my place is in at his lotus feet. Lotus feet is just doing everything for the Krishna service and for Krishna happiness, right? So I should not be abusive to my friends or my relatives or my wife or my husband. So those are all the things which Krishna likes, right? So I should follow that. So that's what it means by self-realization, is knowing that I am the soul, knowing that who the supreme soul is, and then what is my relationship, and then what is the ultimate purpose of life. What is the ultimate purpose of life? Is to love Krishna. So very simple thing, three things. Knowing four things. Knowing who we are, which is we are the soul, knowing who the supreme soul is, okay, Krishna, supreme soul, second part, and we know that supreme soul is reflected. He's a person also, he's energy also, he's a Paramatma also, right? So these two things, and then for each of those realizing this, we start from the theoretical level, but then the realization, these two things, what is my relationship with the supreme, that's the third thing, and the fourth thing, what is the ultimate purpose of my life, which is to love Krishna and serve Krishna. So that four together, and really understanding, it's just not the theoretical knowledge. The devotee is feeling that. He's feeling that I can see Krishna in my heart, right? As the advancement starts, person can see Krishna in their heart, and they are always in equilibrium. They are enjoying in themselves. So once these four things become very practical, then those are the symptoms which will be happening. We won't be disturbed by all the things which is happening within our life. Okay. So so
Maybe
anybody asks, okay, Prabhuji, boliye, tell me.
can you talk about the third one, Prabhuji? So the
So the
first one is this. I didn't,
Okay.
figuring out that you are the soul, and then Krishna is the super soul, and the connection between the soul and the super soul. And the fourth one is serving the super soul or Krishna.
The
Talk about
fourth
the
one
third
is
one
our
first.
fourth one is the purpose. What is the ultimate purpose of our life? And
Purpose.
that,
Yes.
so basically, I'm asking the question. I'm giving the question also, and then I'm giving the answer also, right? So the first thing is soul. Like, okay, we are not the body, we are the soul. And then I also
Yeah.
talked about how to know that we are making progress on that path, right? What? Okay, so that's number one, soul. That's the self-realization. The second is who is the supreme. So okay, super soul. So that's the second part. And okay, and then how to know that I'm really know the super soul, and that's I was talking about the service and all those stuff. Third thing is what is my relationship, what is the relationship of the soul with the super soul. Okay, and that's the service attitude and all those things, treating other every being in this universe with the respect and devotion, right? So that's number three. And number four is what is the ultimate purpose of our life, which is to love and serve Krishna. So these are the
Yeah.
four things.
I didn't get the third one, Prabhuji.
The relationship between the soul and the super soul.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. So see, what is our, so what we hear from the philosophical aspect, that we are the part and parcel of the supreme. Okay, that's the
Mhm.
philosophical answer, or or a theoretical answer, that we are part and parcel of Krishna. Now, how to practically understand it? So practically, we have to understand that everybody had that relationship between the soul and the super soul, right?
Yes.
Now, how I am treating the other person, and this is not that how the other person is treating me, because that I don't control. The other person has to think how they are treating me, but how I am treating the other person. Am I treating them with respect, with love, affection, compassion, right? So that's what it means, that that's real understanding of our relationship with Super Soul.
Okay,
Does
Prabhuji.
it help? Does it help,
Yeah.
Prabhu?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Prabhu. Okay. Anything to add, Prabhu? Shiva Prabhu?
No, I think.
Okay. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, that is explained, Vadanti tat tatvata vidas tattvam yach Jnanam Advayam. Those who are actually knower of the absolute truth know that the self is realized in three different phases, as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So these are three way one can observe the supreme, and then how that's how they interact with the supreme. Like, so everything is Lord's energy. We know that Lord is reflecting through his energy. So anything is happening in my life, that is the Lord's mercy, right? If I am losing the job, or if I'm suffering in my relationship, that's the Lord mercy, that He wants us to experience something. So let me experience it and learn from it. Okay. So that's how the devotees start observing it, and then they start behaving like that. And that is the real advancement. Okay. So so you see how this um, uh, wonderful purport, right? I will request you all to reread it. Okay, this is the real knowledge. This is the real knowledge which everybody should definitely read, and it is, and I'm talking even for myself, right? So let's read the last paragraph. Shiva Prabhu, you want to read the last paragraph?
Yes, Prabhu. Beginning from practicing humility up to the point of realization of the supreme truth, the absolute personality of Godhead. This process is just like a staircase beginning from the ground floor and going up to the top floor. Now, on this staircase, there are so many people who have reached the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, and etc. But unless one reaches the top floor, which is the understanding of Krishna, he is at the lower stage of knowledge. If anyone wants to compete with God and at the same time make advancement in spiritual knowledge, he will be frustrated. It is clearly stated that without humility, understanding is not truly possible. To think oneself a God is most puffed up. Although the living entity is always being kicked by the stringent laws of material nature, he still thinks, I am God, because of ignorance. The beginning of knowledge, therefore, is amnitva, humility,
Amanitva.
amanitva, humility. One should be humble and know that he is subordinate to the Supreme Lord. Due to rebellion against the Supreme Lord, one becomes subordinate to material nature. One must know and be convinced of this truth.
So now you tell me, so this used to like I would like always have this confusion. How to understand? Do you feel that you are rebellion against the Supreme Lord?
Yes.
You feel? Okay, give me an example.
Like I feel like okay, we are controlling because I am willing and I got the job.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was hardworking, I got this position,
Mm-hmm.
which uh, which is our what is that delusion,
Okay.
Maya.
Okay.
So there are many factors who cooperated for me to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my karma is one, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
On top of it, the sanctioning and many people who approved it, who gave me job. So all those were influenced and made in line,
Mm-hmm.
because of which I'm at where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm thinking I control everything,
Mm.
that's like I'm against the
Very good.
Lord
Very good answer.
sanctioning
Yeah,
kind of
very good answer, Prabhuji. Yeah, so the one thing which can tell that we are competing is our controlling propensity.
controlling propensity.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I
that
meant.
is,
Yeah.
yeah. So our control. So we should try to see how much we are trying to control. I'm trying to control my situation. I'm trying to control my spouse. I'm trying to control my job. I'm trying to control my kids. Of course, see, as a parent, we have to try to control our kids, right? So it's not that whatever is required, but then we know that, oh, this is out of bound. Means I tried, okay, and if it is still not working, I tried with my intelligence, okay, I'll do this and do that. But it's not working, then what can we do? Okay, that's Krishna's plan. Okay, so that's what we have to understand.
But still, we have to do our part.
We have to do our part. We have to always do our part because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is using us as an instrument. So if we are not acting like an instrument, then we are not.
It's like I got the I mean now I'm playing a father,
Yeah,
and I have to take care of my kids and I have to do my part of procuring them comforts or
right.
giving whatever it is requires. If I am not doing that and thinking Krishna will do, it's
Yeah.
like I'm not doing my part, then
Yes.
forget about other part.
Yes. Absolutely, Prabhu. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, so this is process of knowledge we talked about. We went over this. Now, 13 to 19. So what we are going to be talking about, the object, knowledge of Jnanam, Supersoul and Soul, the interaction, right? So these are the three things which 13 to 19 talks about. So understanding object of knowledge. What is the object of knowledge? What is Jnanam? Okay. So what is to be known by those qualities? Like, so we know that, okay, Brahman is Jiva Brahman and Para Brahman. There are two type of Brahman. When we say Brahman, there are two type of Brahman. Jiva Brahman, Para Brahman. Jiva Brahman is soul and Para Brahman is Paramatma. So the Brahman word can be used for both. Okay? So it can be used for both. And then, so example is one who knows and the object of the knowledge. So the two terms are used. Jnanam and the object. So knowledge and the object of the knowledge. So the knowledge is right, who got the knowledge, this person, and what is the and what knowledge he's got, he's about this camera, right? That's the object. So the camera was the object of his knowledge. So that's how we understand the difference between knowledge and the object of the knowledge. Okay, so qualities of Jnanam, Paramatma, right? So what is the quality? He's omnipresent. He is outside, he is inside, he's far, he is near. So that's what this verse talked about. So sometimes it becomes very confusing how Krishna is far, how it is near, because he permeates. So he's near as a Paramatma, he's very near. And if I don't have a relationship with Krishna, he's very far. Then I don't see him. That, oh, show me the God, I don't see him, right? And from the other perspective, he's he's far. Yeah, I think the best example, I think, from the far is the devotion, my relationship with the Krishna. I suppose that's the best definition I can think of. And then he's always there as a Paramatma. Okay. So qualities, what are the qualities of Jnanam? He's omnipresent, he's omniscient. And why is he not visible? Due to being subtle. So answer is because the Paramatma is subtle, very subtle, right? So Bhagavatam tells us, um, for example, this is the famous thing, right? We talk about, um, it says that the scripture says that the soul lives in the region of heart. So if we do the heart surgery, what happens? Either the soul moves from one person to other person. We talk about this, right? So where is soul?
These yeah, those five gases are maintaining the body. The soul, exact position of soul.
No, so it is called, it's not in the heart, it's in the region of the heart, right? So there are, as you said, there are 10 kind of life here. So it's suspended there in a subtle form. So we have the gross body, and the Bhagavatam talks about that we have the subtle body also. Okay. So it is the part of the subtle body which is in the region of the heart. So those things doesn't, so if a doctor is manipulating the gross body, the subtle body is not being touched at all. It is beyond the control of the gross senses. Nobody can manipulate it. Okay, so that's the reason. So okay, and then the qualities of Jnanam. So where is he inside us? Inside the heart. We talked about. Okay, then is is he divided? No, he is one. So it's not that. So the other misconception can happen that and we start imagining that first everything was one, and then Krishna divided the soul into multiple pieces. So we all become one division, and then there was division for the Paramatma. Then he divided, and then there's one in the Paramatma. It's not like that. So that, because logically we are thinking how it is possible that we are the all the soul, we got a different body, and then every body has one super soul. We, because the only way to do that is we think logically to divide. But that's called achintya bheda, achintya, inconceivable nature of the Lord, which is he can simultaneously be in all of us without being divided. And one of the way the Vedanta talks about, think as a reflection. If there are mirror at multiple places and there is only one sun, it can reflect in all the mirrors. Okay, so that's how the Paramatma concept and the soul concept lives. Okay, so so this is just I was explaining, right? How explain how Paramatma is one, right? So how each in the it is being reflected in all these vessels, but there is only one sun. Okay. So where does the soul go when heart transplant is performed? We already talked about understanding the heart, Sukshma Hriday. Okay, so we are talking about how there is a subtle, there is a Sukshma Sharir, which is what is the English term for that? Sukshma Sharir. Um, let's call it subtle body, and the sthul sarir is gross body. Okay, subtle body and is then the gross body. Subtle body has the subtle heart. It has it has the life force. So life force, what we call, and one devotee was trying to explain me that this is how we can really understand logically the heart. The what is the connection between the subtle body and the gross body? What is the connection? How the subtle body and gross body interact with each other? How we can logically explain it?
When sensors are working,
Sensor?
when sensors are active and they are working as expected, then there is a relation between subtle body.
So when the senses are working, we're saying that yes.
Yes.
So yeah. So of course that's true. That if my senses are working means that my connection with the subtle body is intact.
Correct.
Right? So that's how we know that sometimes the eye doesn't function, and doctor can say that okay, now we cannot repair the eyes, is gone. Because that time the connection between the subtle body of the eye has gone from the gross body, and that's the reason eye cannot be repaired. There are eye diseases like that in my family. I know where doctor just they know that it's not going to get fixed, but they
Correct.
don't know why, because everything is intact, but they know it's not going to work, right? So the connection is broken. But my question is, in general, how can we explain what is the interface? So now is a technical term. Here we are all in tech, right? What is the interface between the gross and technical
Subtle body and
gross body and subtle body? Yes.
Gross body, Prabhuji, is the hardware, and uh, the subtle body is just. I mean, I don't know if it's a good analogy, but it's like the software you can't really see, but the software is actually operating the hardware.
That's true, Prabhu. Like now, what is the link between the software and the hardware? What is that API connection?
super.
So see, the answer is there written in front of you. It's the prana, like the life air. So if we have the 10 life air, right? Apana,
Upon
right, which the air which goes up, air which goes down, like
Prana, Apana,
prana,
Samana,
apana. Yes,
Pacham.
yes, yes. So 10 life air. So this is the interface. So this life air is the one which is connecting our gross body to the subtle body. Okay, and that's the reason we'll see, when we say that, okay, energy chakra. So okay, what is that energy chakra? So when this connection is not proper, this will start reflecting that our energy chakra is not balanced, and then they do this different kind of method like distant healing, reiki. All those things you see is now become very popular these days, right? They try to fix this interface of the aligning these subtle element. Okay, but the best way to align this is our mantra chanting. Okay, that does the best alignment. And if we are following, and we are the sadhaka, we are following all the regulative principles, it gets aligned automatically. Okay, so that was wonderful. When the devotee told me this is the interface, I said, wow, that makes a lot of sense, right? I can explain everything. So okay, so now coming back to the Sukshma Sharir, gross heart function due to its presence. So this is what Shiva Prabhu was telling, that there is a connection. So through the life air, there is a connection between the gross body, so gross heart, to the subtle heart. So when the subtle heart stops working, there will be, it suddenly we'll see that the electricity signal to the gross heart has stopped working, right? Because the subtle heart has not sending signals now anymore, and that's when we have the heart attack and the things will happen. Because how come it happened that the heart is beating properly, tuk, 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 when suddenly there is no rhythm? What really caused it, right? So that's the connection. And then we talked about the location of the soul and the super soul. It's in the region of the heart. It is not inside the gross heart. It is in the region of the heart. And the sthul sarir means the gross body. It has all the body type that we know from the body, right? And that is pumping the blood, our blood, stool, mucus. Those are all the part of our gross body.
And what is this? How Paramatma enters into the body? Uh, is it along with the life air, or how exactly he comes and how exactly he leaves?
So Paramatma is always there. So when we have the body, Paramatma is always there. It's not that the soul entered and then the super soul entered. No,
Is
it's
it like
not.
that?
They are together. So when the life comes, the super soul is already there. So there it says that the two birds on the same branch.
Correct. So how does two birds come? That's
Okay,
my
how they communicate with each other?
no. How do they? When do they enter into the body? Is it
Oh,
like when life air comes, they enter,
oh, the okay.
or
Okay, so you mean when the baby is being born, when does the soul
and
comes
the
enter?
soul
Okay,
comes? Yeah.
okay. So it says at the time of it is as per the Bhagavatam, I think it's in the third month when the body starts forming, right? When the body, in fact, okay, I have heard both these versions. So when the sperm is released in the egg, that time the sperm is carrying the soul.
Oh,
Okay, so that's the version I've heard also. And then the other version is that when there is the, uh, and I'm less convinced of this. I think based on the first version, I'm personally more convinced. I think I have to ask some expert. The second is that in the third month, that's when the soul and the super soul enter the body. That's the second version I've heard.
What I heard is it is recommended for the newly married couple to visit Punya Kshetras.
Mm-hmm.
When they are visiting, the great souls are awaiting to find their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And when they offer water in the Ganga Jal, and when they are having tirtham and prasadam in the temples, that's when the good souls enter into the body of husband, and
Okay.
that's when they will be transferred to women. I mean, when they beat or whatever.
Okay.
So that's how good souls are awaiting. But if we do not have that pious activity, they will not enter. Otherwise, based on our qualification, that respective souls will enter.
Yeah. So see. So yeah. So
They
that's
enter through water. That's what I heard.
okay. That's it. So it's in the chapter 3. It was talking about how that the grains which we eat, it is carrying the soul. And
Okay.
that's what we consume, and then that's how it enters in our body. That's the chapter Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3 was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, Brahma,
Yeah.
absolute Brahma.
Yes. So of course, when we visit the holy places and all, there is a pious activity one accumulates, and
Good
increase,
soul enters.
and it increase the higher chance, right? So the Garva Dharan Samskar,
Exactly. Yeah.
that is the purpose of that.
Correct.
Inviting the the purer soul,
Pure
right?
soul.
Yeah, pure soul, right? But so, but say, but devotee, a lot of devotee, they don't do this samskara. It's not required for the devotee to go and do this samskara. It is as long as one is a practicing and they have the desire that I should have a good son and daughter, and they are doing the good sadhana, it happens by the Krishna's transcendental system. It happens automatically. Okay, but yeah, if it is possible, if you are coming, because a lot of people they're coming from a very cultured background where they have these rituals and all those stuff, definitely it's good to it's good to, it doesn't harm. But if it is, it's not, if somebody is not doing it, doesn't mean that oh they are a con case. But typically, yeah, what you'll see that people who are very devoted, and they will have this strong culture also.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
There are no hard and
Yes.
rules.
Okay. Okay. So let's read. Let's read from 14 to 19. 13 to 19. Okay, so we'll read 13 to 19. Okay, Shiva Prabhuji.
Neyam yattat pravakshami
Geyam yattat pravakshyami
yajnatva yajnatvartam asnute
yes yagna amrutam ashnute.
natva
Yeah, natva amrutam ashnute.
anadimat param brahma
Anadimat param brahma
natsat tans nasad muchyate
na sat tanna sad uchyate.
sattan nasad muchyate. I shall now explain the noble, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies behind the cause and effect of this material world.
So Krishna, I shall now explain the knowable, what is to be known. Okay, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Okay, what is permanent, and that is Brahman, the spirit, and that's beginningless, and that is subordinate to me. Right? He's telling that these are things I'm going to explain, and that is subordinate to me. It's beginningless, and they lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. So they are coming from the spiritual world, right? So Krishna is telling, I'm going to talk something very about the spiritual part, which is called, which is the thing what we need to know. It is called Brahman, and when he's referring to Brahman, it means that both soul and the super soul. Okay. Okay. Balu Prabhu would like to read 14.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Prabhu. Can you, can you see, Prabhu?
Yeah, I can see.
Go ahead, Prabhu, read.
Yeah, okay. 14, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Sarvahata pani padam
Tat. Sarvatah pani padam tat.
tat sarvatro shiromukam
Sarvato shishiro mukham.
sarvataha shrutim lokne
Sarvata shruti malloke.
sarvamavrita tishtati.
Sarvam avrita tishtati. Very good, Prabhu. Okay, now the meaning. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes and heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything.
So
Purport.
what do we understand by this? How to understand this? Anyone?
Oh, he has everything, ears, eyes, and all, so he can see us.
Yes. So he just not he can see us, and he is telling that his hands are everywhere, his legs are everywhere. So it means that at all time Krishna is present
Yeah.
in the environment wherever we are, right? If somebody is in India, Krishna is there. Somebody is in Japan, India, Krishna is there. Somebody is in Antariksh, in the on the different planet, Krishna. So the whole manifestation has the presence of Krishna, and Krishna has full control of these. That's how we can understand it, right? His ears and eyes and head and faces exist everywhere. It's pervading in everything and anything. So you can the other way to think that assume that Krishna's camera is everywhere. These days now it has become very uh, it's becoming political that all the cameras are being controlled by the government and they can track everything and anything. And with the AI they can analyze who is where and all those stuff. You might have heard that, right? But Krishna's camera is everywhere and nobody, and he is the only one who is the controller. Nobody else can control, right? So, but we can utilize that for our own benefit, which is, oh, Krishna is there, then let me take the shelter of Krishna. Krishna is everywhere. He will take care of me. I will do my part, right? So that's how we take shelter of him. He's there. He's here for me. He's going to guide me, right? So that's how we. So it's not that, oh, Krishna is watching me, I should not do the bad thing, which is also the other way to look, that Krishna is watching all our action. He's not going to interject, right? He's not going to interject. He's neutral party. He will just observe. But ultimately, we are going to face the result. He's not going to interject and say that, okay, don't do it. So that's the one way we can always be careful not to get indulge in the materialistic thing. But the best way to think is how we can take shelter of Krishna because he's everywhere. Okay, Gaurav Prabhu, 15. You are driving, Prabhu, or you have reached?
I've reached Prabhuji.
Okay, you can read it. You have.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
read it, Prabhuji.
okay, Prabhu, go ahead.
Sarvendriya gunabhasam,
Sarvendriya gunabhasham,
Sarvendriya vivarajitam,
Sarvendriya vivarjitam,
Asaktam sarvabhracheva,
Ashaktam sarva brikcheva,
Nirgunam guna bhoktaracha.
Nirgunam guna bhoktaracha. Translation.
The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living things. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all the modes of material nature.
Okay, so let's try to understand what we can understand from this. Anybody? Okay, what are some of the key points?
sensors are nothing but controlled by super soul. Is that what?
Yeah.
Super soul is the original source of all
All
senses.
sensor.
So senses. So it is like he's the Rishikesha. The word he's used is Rishikesha. Okay. So he's the control of all senses. And so how to understand this? Is he really like pulling all my senses right now and controlling it? How the system works? What is the transcendental system?
So whatever the sense perception that we are getting, that is also not in our hand. That is also controlled by super soul.
But how?
As a Paramatma, he is there. So he's
So the what Bhagavatam explains is, or we just talked about, we have this subtle body, and for every senses there are devatas. They are demigods. Like so, for the eyes is sun god, right? So there are devatas for each of those elements, and who are controlling these devatas? Krishna, right? So through that agency, everything, all like through that agency, Krishna can control all our senses, right? So see, Krishna is not working. He has all the people who are working for him. He is happily enjoying the pastime, and if we approach, then he reciprocate. If we don't approach, he's self-sufficient, he's self-control. He wants us to be back, but he's happy, right? He's not working. But all his energy. So what I'm trying to say, these devta, so Krishna has internal energy, Krishna has external energy. Through this internal energy, then Krishna has created this whole system, whole material world, right? And the material world, devtas are the part of that material world. They are the administrator. So you see, in this case, they're acting as an interface. So what the devtas, they are responsible for controlling our subtle body, right? So they are controlling our subtle body. Now, but ultimately they are being controlled by Krishna. So from that understanding, how Krishna can control everything, right? Everything is being controlled by Krishna ultimately. So they call it Digd Devta in Bhagavatam. All these different devtas. The Canto 3 talks about it, about all these different devtas who are, Canto 2 or Canto 3 talks about that, how for every senses there is a devta assigned. Okay. Yet he is without senses. So the Supreme Soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. So what does it mean, yet he is without senses?
That it doesn't depend on the senses, just like we depend on the senses.
Yes, he doesn't have the material senses like us, right? Yeah, he's not dependent on that. Good point. He's unattached, right? So what does it mean? He's unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. What does it mean?
no sensor, no sensing things can influence him, nor he has any tight coupling with them.
Right. So let's say, yeah, let's say we are not following the rules and regulation. Krishna is okay. We don't follow. That's fine, right? But if we go and become a devotee, then Krishna, and then we want Krishna to reciprocate with us, then he will reciprocate with us. So he's not attached, right? He's not, even though he has created the whole manifestation, he has created us, through his agency, we have got all this body and everything. And he is ultimately the supreme maintainer, but he's not attached how the whole system is working or not working. Okay.
So here, when we are saying one side, we are saying super soul has control over all sensors, and the other side, the sensors are doing all wrong things and causing pain to itself or pain to others. So when it is doing wrong things, who is that doing? Is it done by soul or is it done by super soul?
Okay, so good question. So everything, whether the good or a bad, is being enabled by the agency of Krishna through the either through the Mahamaya or through the Yogamaya. Okay, one of the Krishna's energy is helping us to achieve that. Now, what is like the bad thing. Okay, the good thing, okay, Krishna's Yoga Maya helps.
As per his limited, permitted ways, if he is doing, that is good thing.
Yeah, so see, once anybody can become a devotee, there's no limit. See, Prabhupada, from the human perspective, you see that, oh, Prabhupada, 70-year-old man, how he can come and establish the whole ISKCON and run the whole Hare Krishna movement, establish the Hare Krishna movement in the whole world and then grow it. So how it is possible, right? But, and that's the reason, this is again logically we can understand. We are limited, but once when we get connected to the unlimited, then what is our limit?
Unlimited.
Unlimited limit, right? So there is no limit. That's how we can logically understand. So what is the how we determine that my actions are good or bad, and this is our desire. So the ultimate cause of everything, whether we are doing the good or bad, is our desire. So that's when we say that we have the free will, our free will is only this thing, desire. That's what we control. Rest everything is controlled by the agencies of Krishna.
What if I have a bad desire which is not meant for my growth in state form? So
let's
who
say,
is causing it?
okay, so your desire, our desire. So so let's say I have a desire. Then if your question is, who is fulfilling that desire? So if
Wrong desire, I mean.
wrong desire, yeah. Who is fulfilling that desire? So Krishna's energy is fulfilling the because he has given he was given that, oh, you want to do it, I'll enable you to go and do that, right? So he has created the agency, which is the neutral party. It's a neutral party. They are not assessing it's a good, so it's a good, then I'll do it. It's a bad, then I won't do it. We are just, it's a command is going to a system, is telling them do it, and they will do it as long as I have the credit. So we can now talk about the credit, because for to run the AI, we need the credit. To run the Figma, we need the credit, right? Anything, right? You know that in the now AI world, we need have a whether, so have we bought enough credit to run the engine or not? So have we got the enough pious activity in our bank balance to run that or not? Somebody wants the good son. So okay, do I have the pious activity? If I have the pious activity, then that will get fulfilled by the devatas who are being controlled by the Krishna. So desire is mine. I wanted the good son, and Krishna fulfilled it because I have enough credit. If I don't have enough credit, then just my desiring is not going to help, because I'll keep trying. My wife may not conceive, or I may not have a good son. I'll have the son. I may not have the good son. Is that what you are asking, Prabhuji?
So it's like the based on pious activity that turns out to be good or bad.
Yes, that's the bank balance. Our pious activities are our karma. You say our previous karma is our bank balance. So we have the good balance and the bad balance both, and they both will execute. The bad balance will all, whether you want it or not, is going to execute, because that's how the system has been designed.
So, for example, if I have a knife in my hand, so I have an option to do surgery and do good thing, or I have an option to stab someone and cause harm to him.
Yes.
So, which one I am doing is based on whoever is controlling my senses. I don't know on what it is based on. It's only desire.
Desire, Prabhu. Yes. So now in this case, let's say I have the bad desire because that's how I had the impression from the past life. So I will have this like anger or lust, right? Okay, this person is not listening to me. I'm going to kill this person. And then I take the knife, and then I stab, right? So now see, act. So first I should have the access to the knife. So the material energy will make the arrangement. The knife might be there on the table that time, and by unfortunate, it was not there all the time, but that day it was there.
So the target is right,
and the target are in front of me. So the material energy just arranged all those stuff because I had that desire.
Correct.
And then I'm going to suffer, right? So the ultimately everything, what the Bhagavad Gita itself is telling, that in chapter 3 was very clear, everything is being governed by the Krishna's energy. Everything. There's nothing which is not being governed by Krishna energy. Then which part of the Krishna energy? That depends on who we are. If I'm a materialistic person, I am being governed by the Mahamaya. If I'm a spiritual person working on this, then I am being governed by the Yoga Maya. Okay, but we are being governed. If Yoga Maya, then Krishna will give the good intelligence. Even though, let's say I become angry, Krishna will give the good intelligence that that's not a good thing. I'll stop. I'll think. Some devotee may come in, interject during that time. So Krishna there, here Krishna we say that impartial, but then we say Krishna is reciprocal. In a way, you think Krishna is partial. Through his reciprocal thing, he becomes partial for the devotee. He wants us to be back.
So if we are under the influence of Yoga Maya by following spiritual, if we are maintaining connection with Super Soul
Yeah.
Krishna,
Yeah.
he will make arrangements to drive our mood accordingly towards good.
Good. Yes.
Even though life is in front of you, target is in front of you, if your mood is not there, if you are diverted to good thing, then you are done. You are safe.
Yeah, because then see, I won't be becoming angry because they are good qualities. I won't be
Correct.
becoming mad. Even if I become angry, it will be a controlled anger, right? Okay. And if so, all those things will be there, right? Something, even if I wanted to make the mistake, something will might intervene. Somebody will call bell, the ring will happen. Somebody enters the house and they stops me. So many things can happen.
Of course, yeah.
Right? So many
It all
things
depends
can.
on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And then the third line, he transcends the mode of nature and at the same time he's the master of all the modes of material nature. So we talked about this is how Krishna transcends the mode of nature, he's not influenced by the mode of nature, and how he's the master of all the modes of nature. So whether the Mahamaya or the Yogamaya, everything is being controlled by Krishna. Okay, 16, Shiva Prabhu.
Yeah. Bahir-antasam cha bhutanam
Bahirantascha bhutanam
acharam charameva cha
acharam charameva cha
sukshmatvat tad avigneyam
sukshamatvat tad avigneyam
durastram chantike cha tat
durastham chantike tatat.
The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, the moving and the non-moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know. Although far away, he is also near to all.
These are all the very Upanishadic language, okay? The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings. So we already talked about it, right? He cannot be bound in a box, right? So he's inside us. How? As a Paramatma. Outside as an energy as a person, right? He exists both. The moving and the non-moving. So he is both the moving and the non-moving. So in fact, the Krishna energy is even in the material things, the non-animated things. He's there in the stone, in the furniture, in the table, in the chair. That's the reason those exist, because due to Krishna's energy. Okay, because he's subtle, he's beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. This is where people say, oh, show me the God, because he's subtle. I cannot see using my gross senses, right? I have to develop my subtle senses and purify my subtle senses so that subtle senses can develop the connection. The soul can develop the connection to the super soul. Okay, so life here, that's the interface between my gross body and my subtle body. We talked about that. Now, the connection with the soul and a super soul, that's the Bhakti Lata Bij. That's the connection is the Bhakti Lata Bij. Right? So they are side by side. But because there's so much of dirt, there's no connection. But as the dirt is getting removed, then I can see, oh, that's supreme, and then I can go and hold. You can imagine like that. Although far, far away, he's also near to all. So he's unachievable. But as we turn towards him, then suddenly Krishna is there. And he's responding to us. Okay? 17. Balu Prabhu?
Prabhuji, can you talk a little bit about the non-moving part? Like, is it literally non-moving, like lifeless things, or is it
Yes,
something
Prabhu. Yeah,
else?
like even the lifeless things, like the so-called the table, the chair, the car. So Krishna energy is everywhere, right? So the inferior Krishna inferior energy is the cause of all the gross elements, right? So one day one wonderful senior devotee asked this question that when you sit on the sofa, let's say you're sitting on the floor, it's
Mhm.
hurting, like I'm just trying to straighten up my leg and all, like, okay, I have to. But you sit on the sofa, you really you enjoy, and you feel sleepy. There's the enjoyment. When you sit on the sofa, there's the enjoyment. Where that enjoyment is coming from.
That's the nature of material. It's a soft and cushion
Yeah,
kind.
so that what he's trying to explain, what he was trying to explain, that's also Krishna's energy. There won't be any happiness in us interacting with a non-animated element if there is no Krishna's energy. Any happiness we derive is due to Krishna energy. Even if we are interacting with a sofa or a table or a chair and all those stuff, because those are Krishna's energy. Is Krishna living as a super soul in that? No, it's not living as a super soul within them. But that's Krishna's energy. That's how we understand. Make sense, Gaurav Prabhu?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah.
17, Balu
So
Prabhuji.
avibhaktam chu bhuteshu
Abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu
vibhaktimiva cha sthitam
vibhaktam eva cha sthitam
bhutabharta cha tagneyam
bhutabhatra cha tajyeyam
grasishtu prabhavishya cha.
grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. Translation, Prabhuji?
Yeah, okay. Well, I need to enlarge it.
Okay. That's okay,
Let's
Prabhu.
see here.
Yeah.
Although this super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is, oh, cannot say, sorry. He is situated as one, although he is the maintainer of every living entity. It is to be understood that the devours and develop all.
Okay, so this is what we already saw in the picture, right? That one sun reflecting in all the different parts,
Parts, yeah.
right? So everywhere will see the sun, but the sun is one. So even though it appears that Lord has divided and He is the soul and the super soul amongst all of us, but that's not how we should think. Rather, we are all being reflected. So Lord is everyone as full. Okay, so His supreme soul, He's there as full. It's not that He's a part of the supreme soul. Okay. So that's how we can understand this. Okay, Gaurav Prabhu 18.
ज्योतिषम ज्योतिषमपि तज्ज्योतिषे
Jyoti
Jyotisham
samapita
apita
jyotis
तमस्य परम उच्यते
tamasah
tamasam
param
paramuchyate
uchyate
ज्ञानम ज्ञानम ज्ञेयम ज्ञानागम्यं
nanam
ganam
गम्यम
gyeyam
gamayam
nanagamyam
हृदि सर्वस्य विशितम्
hridi
hridi
sarvasya
sarvasya
vishchitam.
vishchitam.
Translation.
He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge, and he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart.
So see now, that is showing that how Krishna is permeating everywhere, right? So he is the source of light in all luminous objects. So anything which is living, shining, he is ultimately source. That's the reason we all living force exist. Without that, we won't exist. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. So the matter is considered like the dead matter is considered dark, right? He's beyond that and is unmanifested, right? So it seems we don't see him, but he's there. But he's telling that you won't see him there. He is knowledge. So he is the knowledge. So Krishna, through Krishna, we have that inquisitivity to learn this. And he is the object of knowledge. For what we need to learn? We need to learn about Krishna. So he's the object of knowledge. And what is the purpose? He is the goal of knowledge, right? So he is situated in everyone's heart. So as a Paramatma, and this was in chapter 10, right? He's telling that through me you get the remembrance and the forgetfulness.
Yes.
So everything happens through him. That's the reason we say that whenever there is difficulty in our life and we are looking for inspiration, pray to Krishna. Krishna, please give me the intelligence so that I can make the right decision. We don't say that Krishna come and solve it because we don't want Krishna to do the work for us. We want to give him happiness, but we can request him to be our guide. So we can explicit, because see, when we are trying to build the relationship, sometimes we have to go upfront to the person and say that, I need help. Otherwise, person will just there. He's waiting for us to ask for the help, because we only ask for the help when we don't have the ego. We think, no, no, let me go and seek help. Otherwise, I think I can do it. Let me do it, right? So we go and say that, Krishna, please guide me so that I can make progress in my life. And then Krishna, sitting as a super soul, will start giving us intelligence so that we will make the right decision. Okay? Okay, Shiva Prabhu, 19.
इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानम्
इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं
ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः
ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः
मद्भक्ता एतद्विज्ञाय
मद्भक्ता एतद्विज्ञाय
मद्भाव्यायोपपाद्यते
योपपाद्यते.
Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the noble have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature.
So in this 7 verses, Krishna has answered the activities, which are body, knowledge, right? The jnanam and the knowable, gayam, have been summarily described by me. Only my devotee can understand. So only the devotees who are linked with Krishna will be. So a lot of people will read this, but they won't be able to really understand how to see this system, how the transcendental system works, unless one is devotee. Okay. So see the main our
like
reading is one thing.
Completely encoded along with keys available.
Yes, and the keys are only made available to understand it once build the relationship with Krishna. Then the interface has to be established. Connection interface exists, but it's broken. So we have to establish the connection with the interface, and then the API will start working.
Correct.
Okay? Yes. All right, Prabhu. So we will stop the session, and I think Balu Prabhu has to drop. So thank you very much. We will resume from 20 next week. Hari Bol.
Very well, Prabhuji.
Slowly, this reading English is becoming habituated.
What, Prabhuji?
The slokas. The
Yes.
dot means
Yes.
the bar